What's going on, everybody? Haven't done a Yankee video in a while, so this is for the first time in a few weeks. But welcome back. Like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on post notifications so you know when a live stream pops or a video drops. Appreciate y'all coming back. Share this out. On the road to 1,000 subscribers, which includes memberships and a lot of different exclusive things on this channel. So please share out, subscribe, do all the good stuff. Baseball season is slowly creeping its way back into our lives for 2023. Football season has ended, and pitchers and catchers are at the facilities. They are working out, doing their different things, and then spring training games kick off, I think, not this weekend, but the next weekend. So it's fun. It's exciting. Despite my disappointment with the Yankees' moves this offseason, it's always fun to bring baseball back and just watch what these Yankees do, whether it's good, bad, and different. And so today's title is going to be 5 things to look for heading into spring training. These are personally my 5 things to look for. I know people will have different perspectives and whatnot, but I kind of want to catch the underrated side of some of these things before going into the deeper subjects, the ones that a lot of people have been covering a lot more. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Number 1 is 4 underrated prospects. I'll give you a list when we do individuals. First off, let's start with Randy Vasquez. Randy Vasquez has been labeled in trade rumors for the past year, whether it's for this guy, that guy. A lot of people perceive that he's going to be traded, and the reason why I think I'm going to watch him this spring is not just because of that, but it goes into the pitching depth, which we'll cover later on, hint, hint. Because the Yankees don't have a lot of readiness in terms of pitching depth in the minor leagues. Obviously with the Montas injury happening, once again, some guys are going to have to step up, especially in that 4th, 5th rotational spot. And we don't even know if Nestor Cortez is going to pitch in that opening day weekend. So that's a little scary. But Vasquez needs to step up a little bit. He didn't necessarily have a great year in the minors last year. With Somerset, 2-7, 3.9 ERA, at an opposed batting average of 239, 120 strikeouts, 115.1 innings pitched, about 11 home runs allowed, which was the highest of his minor league baseball career. And I just wanted to add in an extra note. I had the pleasure of meeting Randy Vasquez about a couple of years ago when he was with Hudson Valley, which I believe was his best or one of the best minor league seasons he's had. So the reason why I'm looking into Vasquez is because the potential trade rumors. Is it a last dance thing for Vasquez before the trade deadline where they might need an outfielder, a starting pitcher, or God knows what? Or is it going to be a situation where, Vasquez is actually more ready than people think, and maybe he could come up this year for depth reasons? So there's a lot of reasons to look into Randy Vasquez. The next one I'm going to go to is Everson Pereira. Now, there's going to be some repetitiveness in this video. Obviously, Pereira, he's an outfielder. Spent 2022 with Somerset and also Hudson Valley. Got to see him in Hudson Valley in 2021 when they faced the Cyclones. He actually hit a home run, I believe. But he's a solid hitter. That K percentage is probably going to be up when he gets to major leagues. But the thing with him and Vasquez is, from what I hear, they do have a recurring problem of injuries. But anyway, let's get to the stats. In total for 2022, Pereira hit 277, total of 14 home runs, 56 RBIs, 124 strikeouts. Most of them coming when he was with Hudson Valley, then got bumped up to Somerset. So, will he start the year in Somerset? Will he start the year in AAA? We'll see what happens there. But it's kind of the same situation with Vasquez, if you think about it, if he could stay healthy, is because, Pereira's been rumored in trades for, this guy, that guy, whatever, for positional needs for the Yankees. And the Yankees, while they have Dominguez, they have Spencer Jones, a couple of other different guys coming up, culminating through the minor leagues, they really don't have any backup outfielders as spring training starts to begin. It's all a competition, right? We got, Willie Calhoun, all these different guys. And is there a spot for Everson Pereira? And I think the Yankees if they have a set decision on this guy, they should roll with it. And if they have a set role for this guy, they should roll with it. Because if you don't see a spot for him, if you think he's too injury prone, deal him for a starting pitcher right now. Because God knows we need a starting pitcher. Deal him and IKF, and maybe just to get some salary off the books. I don't know. But we don't want to really go through this whole thing of, well, the whole Estevan Florial situation where, okay, we're going to trade him. Okay, we're not going to trade him, and we're going to keep him in the minor leagues and basically let him rot. So that's my thoughts on Everson Pereira. You move forward to another guy I happened to meet back in 2019 with the Staten Island Yankees, is Andre Chaparro. Spent the 2022 season with 3 different teams. I believe 2 were for rehab reasons. 2 games for rehab reasons. The other 2 teams he played with, actually, he may have gotten some time in Tampa due to some, rehab-esque stuff. But he actually hit pretty well with all the levels, he was playing with in terms of the GCL, Tampa, and then Somerset, where he got the most experience. Total of 20 home runs, 55 RBIs, 25 walks, 58 strikeouts. So that's actually pretty good. We talk about Pereira. His K rate's probably going to be higher than most. And Chaparro, maybe it doesn't look like that as of right now. He had a total of, 54 strikeouts in 64 games. So maybe that does go up with the sample size. But we could tell based off of the stats, he was injured for some time now of 2022. He had 296, and also 4 stolen bases. I think his ideal fit is a third baseman, but I want to see how he does. I mean, we haven't gotten a huge sample size of him, haven't heard a lot of him. We talk about Dominguez, we talk about Peraza, we talk about Cabrera, we talk about Anthony Volpe. This guy really isn't talked about much, which leads me to believe that the Yankees may or may not have a role for him when he is Major League ready. You got guys like Trey Sweeney. Maybe he plays third base when he comes up, and Chaparro's niche is third base. So, we'll see what happens in terms of that. But I just want to get a look at Chaparro a little bit more and see what's what. And then finally, another prospect is another outfielder. It's Elijah Dunham, who spent most of last year, actually all of last year in Somerset, 248 batting average, 103 strikeouts, 17 home runs, 63 RBIs, 59 walks, 110 games played. Don't know much about him. I think maybe this is his first or second. I'm going to say it's his second year in spring training. I want to see how he does. I mean, I don't think he's anywhere near Major League ready yet. I think he'll probably start the year in Somerset and then gradually be promoted to the Rail Riders. But, we'll see where he's at. Once again, just another guy that I decided to pick because not a lot of people are talking about him. I believe he was either a champion of some sorts with AA or single A, or he actually got like an all-star nomination. So let's take a look at that. Let's see if he got any awards 2022. So no, he was part of the Surprise Saguaros, so that's the Arizona Fall League in 2021, so that's, the Rising Stars. He was EAS Player of the Week and Postseason All-Star, so that's good. Just to note that this guy has some awards on his resume. Also, he was a Yankee nominee for MILB Organization All-Star, so there's that. So a couple of interesting notes about this kid, and we'll move on, but pretty much 4 underrated prospects nobody's really talking about heading into the spring training. So the next one is battle for the backup outfield. I kind of touched on this, I should say, with the whole Everson Pereira thing. You got Judge, who's going to be playing the outfield. You got Bader. You got Hicks, who's still going to be here. I don't think he's going to get traded. You got Cabrera, who could play infield and outfield. Stan's going to be DH. They're not going to put him in the outfield a lot. So then you have a couple of depth guys. You got Rafael Ortega, which we'll go over in a second. Billy McKinney, who you guys should honestly remember. We traded him in the J. Happ trade. And then he went to Oakland, went to the Mets, and he's been all over the place. But he's back with the Yankees now. You got Willie Calhoun, who is a former Giant. He's also a former Ranger. And just some other scrap heap guys. But the main 3 competing for backup spots, in my opinion, besides Estevan Florial as well, who I didn't mention. Well, I mentioned him earlier, but now I mention him. Willie Calhoun, Rafael Ortega, and McKinney, they're going to be the guys competing for that one of those backup spots, maybe kind of like a fringe type Mike Tauchman. But let's go over Ortega's stats real quick. He's probably the most experienced backup outfielder the New York Yankees have at this moment. 118 games last year with the Chicago Cubs, 241 batting average, 74 strikeouts, total of 7 home runs, 35 RBIs, total of 44 walks, 12 stolen bases. So comes off the bench, can give you some speed on base pass. And the Giants, Jesus Christ. The Yankees don't have Tim LeCastro anymore, so this is why it's important. And they really don't seem impressed with Estevan Florial. The next one is Willie Calhoun, who probably comes off as the second most experienced outside of maybe Florial, but then again, I would still say Calhoun's a little bit more experienced. 2022, he played in 22 games, 135 batting average, 1 home run, 3 RBIs. He split it between the Texas Rangers and San Francisco Giants, and then his last full year, at least the closest to a full year in the big leagues, 75 games with the Rangers in 21, 250 batting average, 34 strikeouts, total of 2 caught stolen bases, so he didn't steal any bases that time, 21 walks, 6 homers, and 25 RBIs. So I don't know how these guys stack up defensively, but as I said, Rafael Ortega seems like the most experienced than Billy McKinney. With Oakland last year, 0.96 batting average, 16 strikeouts, 1 home run, 4 RBIs, so that's not a great resume. 2021, he split with 3 different teams, the Dodgers, the Brewers, the Mets. In that time, he hit 9 home runs, 27 RBIs, 192 batting average, 32 walks, 79 strikeouts, in total of 116 games. And then, he played a little bit with Toronto in 2019, but has never really hit for average other than, some of the years with the Yankees, and then he got traded to the Blue Jays, obviously, with the J-Happ trade. So, in my personal opinion, I think Rafael Ortega has the leg up to win at least one of these roles now that Tim LeCastro is gone. But with that being said, it's going to be an interesting battle for one of the backup outfield spots. And see how many outfielders they keep as well. Next up, we got shortstop and Anthony Volpe. Very interesting battle. Anthony Volpe last year for Somerset and Scranton Wilkes-Barre, spent most of his time in Somerset. 21 home runs, 65 RBIs, 118 strikeouts, 249 batting average, along with 65 walks, 132 games. So he's got a lot of experience. He had a very, very tough start to 2022 in Somerset, but it's more of the developmental league where, Scranton Wilkes-Barre, you're pitching more against scrubs and guys who are out of the league. Hit 236 with Scranton Wilkes-Barre, so he's probably going to start there. I don't think he's going to start in the majors unless he blows people away with his performance. I think it's Peraza's position to lose, but it also could be Peraza's position to gain if the Yankees want to give IKF another run at it. I personally don't think they should. I think that's a smart decision. The rest of the infield is going to be another battle, another thing to watch. Not as close as the specific position of shortstop, though, because you got Peraza, you got IKF, you got Volpe, and, people are going to be watching Volpe closer. Like last year, obviously people were watching Volpe, but how close is he going to be to coming up, right? Obviously the infield is log-jammed, as I touched on a couple of seconds ago. Do they try to fit Volpe at second base if they move Gleyber Torres? If DJ LeMahieu gets hurt, is he going to be the guy that gets the first call in the major leagues? Or are they going to go with some other dude in the minors that may be a veteran of some sorts over Volpe because maybe Volpe's not ready? So maybe they do go with a Wilmer Dafoe or something like that. But shortstop is going to be another interesting position battle to watch in spring training. But my money is set on Peraza. We'll see what happens. I really like Peraza. But moving on, we got starting rotation pitching depth. Obviously, with the Montas stuff coming in today and the lack of pitching depth the Yankees have and the Nestor Cortez stuff, it's just falling into place for me to put it on this list. Domingo Germán, he's got his number switched to 0, which is probably the the headliner since Carlos Rodon is number 55, but he's there. You also got a guy like Luis Gil. He's coming back from surgery, though, so is he going to be super reliable? Will they try to pigeonhole Davy Garcia into a fifth starter role? I don't think they should. I think he's better fit for the bullpen. I don't think Marinaccio's a starter. I think he's suited as a reliever. Clark Schmidt is a guy to watch. We talked about Vasquez earlier. Clark Schmidt, could it be one of his last rides here? Because they really haven't been using him consistently. I remember, I think it was last year, the year before, they sent him down for a scrub, and it just didn't work out. But there's not really many guys on that non-roster invitee list, and none that will validate, at least until the start of spring training, until we see them in actual games. But right now, in terms of those 4th and 5th spots, I mean, if Cortez is out long-term, which I don't think he will be, but this is the Yankees, so you never know. Herman, Heel, Garcia, and Clark Schmidt are going to be competing for those roles. Maybe some other guys that we may not be thinking about. Matt Crook, Johnny Brito, who spent, I believe, most of his time last year with the Scranton Wilkes-Barre Rail Riders. So just a couple of names to keep on that list. I don't think Michael King, coming off of surgery, is actually going to be competing for a starter role. We'll see how ready he is, though. That's one thing to keep in mind as well. So the starting pitching rotation depth, now that we don't have Waldichuk, J.P. Sears, and Luis Medina, which hurts us and stings us to this day. The next one is backup catcher. Now, this is one I just added in because I feel like, we didn't really see a lot of Ben Rordvedt in the spring last year, to my knowledge. We had, 10, 15 games of spring training. A lot of people don't pay attention to the minor leagues, and Higgy, I know he's going to be playing the WBC, to my knowledge, and they really don't care about that, I guess, because he's a backup. But maybe when he's playing in the WBC, they give Rordvedt a little bit more of a chance, and then you could also see guys like Josh Bro, Austin Wells, Anthony Siegler, some of these other guys that are competing for catcher spots all over the system. But I think Rordvedt, this is his last chance because he came in last year, was injured. And I think there's a defensive upside with Rordvedt, not necessarily a hitting upside, but then again, Higashioka and Rordvedt are not good at hitting. But Rordvedt is kind of a bulky guy at the same time. That's not necessarily good in some ways, right? We saw Luke Voigt bulk up, and then boom, all the injuries happened. So there's that. Number 1 is underrated prospects. 4 of them I listed: Andre Chaparro, Elijah Dunham, Everson Piera, Randy Vasquez. Number 2, battle for the backup outfield spot. 3, shortstop, Anthony Volpe. Number 4, starting rotation depth. And number 5, backup catcher. Like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on post notifications so you know when a live stream pops your drops. Appreciate you all coming back. Maybe I'll start doing something more related to the Yankees rather than Boys and Big Apple. Maybe like a weekly thing on here or a progress report. Something along those lines, because I know I haven't been consistent with the Yankees content. I'd like to come back to that as well, because we got a ton of Yankee fan followers and subs as a part of this great community that we are creating. Appreciate you guys as always. Road to 1K. We're still on it, and wouldn't be done without you guys. Peace.